Hey, what's happening, nation? It's Son Joku. I wanted to come out and take a look at this because we ended up signing Willie Snead, and I'm really not sure what we're going to do with him. So I wanted to put together a couple different offenses, bring it to you guys, see what you thought about it. And if you're new to the channel, please do think about subscribing. I really do appreciate that. I do not like to waste any time. I'm going to go ahead and jump into this, man. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this because I know Gruden will never run just a straight, like, true 5 wide receiver set, but I definitely would if I had these 5 wide receivers, and I think Carr would feast in this freaking offense. I think he would sit back and just pick teams apart, like, completely. I know we won't see it this year. It's going to end up, Waller's going to end up being in this mix. If we do end up going to an empty backfield, it's either going to be Drake or it's going to be Jacobs just kind of motioning out, so then Carr does have an empty backfield. But if you just came out with a true straight 5 wide, man, this looks pretty damn good. You'd have Snead and Ruggs just kind of work in the middle of the field. Renfro would be able to do his thing. And then Edwards and Brown on the outside. I think it looks damn good, dude. Like, I'm not going to lie. I really like the way this looks. So let me know what you guys think about that. And then there's so many other things you could do with it, but I just wanted to take a look. And then Snead, man, we do have to talk about Snead because I was pretty shocked by this move. I'm not going to lie. We have gaping holes still on this team. And much like the defensive linemen that we brought onto this team, it was Matt Dickerson and Darius Philon. I was pissed about those moves. I'm not going to lie. It's like, you desperately need a safety. You desperately need a tackle. You desperately need a corner. And then you're signing more defensive linemen to an already stacked room. And I get it, dude. Like, bringing in Quentin Jefferson at that defensive tackle position, awesome. But bringing in Dickerson, that was a waste of money. I don't care if they're camp bodies or not. When you start getting your camp bodies, you get your camp bodies after you fill all the holes on your roster. And it blows my freaking mind. And Gruden does this shit every single year. Well, he'll come out and there'll be good people on the board. He starts plucking these damn players off. I'm telling you right now, your practice squad players and your camp bodies out there, you can get those dudes for dirt cheap. Once everything else is settled down, you have to fill your positions first. It's one of the biggest flaws that I have in him, and like the many that I have. And then the next day I turn around and we signed Nevin Lawson. Like, I was pissed. Like completely pissed for 2 days at what the Raiders were doing. It was like I woke up and they were like, the Raiders extended Andre James. I was like, hell yeah, dude, we needed that. And then we signed 2 more defensive linemen and we re-signed Nevin Lawson. I was livid, dude, like completely livid. It's like, what the hell is going on? And then we brought in Nick Martin and we re-signed Richie Incognito. We got Good back on the team. I was looking good. And then we went out and got Snead. And I was like, I get it, dude. Like, I wanted to see another wide receiver come on, but I wanted it to be a rookie. I'm not going to lie. I did not want it to be Willie Snead. And then people are talking, is Willie Snead going to be competing for one of these starting spots to where you have Brown on one side, Willie Snead on the other? You put Renfro in the slot or Ruggs. Edwards is just kind of the backup plan at this point. And I don't want to see that shit. That drives me insane. So I really want to see what happens with Willie Snead. Let me know what you guys think. I understand in his first 2 years with New Orleans, he came out there and was pretty damn good. Never broke the 1,000-yard mark, but he was right there, like back-to-back seasons. Ended up kind of getting shaken up. Went to Baltimore, just completely shit the bed. Hopefully he can get a fresh start here. I just don't know what it's going to be for us. He seems pretty excited about it. More power to him. I'm really hoping he can pan out. I don't know what his role is going to be, so hopefully it's good, man. All right, man, that's pretty much what I had for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and jump into these comments and see what you guys are thinking about it. If I can figure out how to work my computer. Oh, so that's what's going on, man. Anthony, how are you doing? Stumbling good, man. Doing good. Lusk. Oh, Costa's good. I gotta tell you, not gonna lie. Man, I'm a little catch. I can't even get him out of my head. I've tried. I went back and forth trying to stop saying out there, try to say truly. It's just, man, it is who I am. It's the way that I talk, so it's never going to change. Raider Gamer, what's good, dude? I'm glad you can make it out. Josh, how are you doing? I did a mock draft a couple weeks ago, dude. I'll probably end up doing a couple more. I went through one of those, like, simulated draft boards and just did, like, draft after draft. It was pretty cool. I might end up doing it again now that we see how things have been shaken out. I do know that the Raiders, like, had an interview and, like, met up with Micah Parsons. I was happy as hell about that. I'm not gonna lie, if that dude's on the board at 17 and we pull that off, I will be so damn happy. It's over. Carr's got weapons. Zay is definitely fighting for a job. That's what I pretty much see. Like, I saw Snead coming in to compete with Zay Jones for that number 5 wide receiver spot on the team. Here from Raider Ben's channel. I'm a 49er fan. Just checking out your content. Sentinel, I appreciate it, man. I've loved Raider Ben. Like, I've watched that dude forever. Like, truly forever. And I really I like his show. I like the way, his style that he brings. Like, as far as, like, this live streaming stuff goes, it was like him and Zenny And I mean, Mikey's been doing it forever. Don't take anything away. But like Raider Ben and Zenny were like constantly like live streaming, like boom, 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 like bringing people and like actually caring about the comment section. I based my show a lot off those two guys. So I really got a lot of respect for them just for putting in the grind and putting in the work. Loyal to the soil, what's going on? Al, how are you doing? Michael, what's going on? Rather have Waller as our #1 wide receiver. Michael, I mean, we've all seen it, dude. Gruden has no problem moving Waller to the outside. I actually had him drawn up in a few of these, but I wanted it to be like a true 5 wide. That's the only reason that I left him off. Ruggs on the crossing patterns. He did it in college, man. He looked pretty damn good, especially when he got lost in the mix of a big, just spread out offense. Snead and Brown, great downfield blockers. In the screen game, yeah, Josh, they are. You're right about that. But Gruden does not run too many damn screens. We have not seen that too often at all. I like it, but I don't think Gruden will do it. There's no chance Gruden does it. Like, none. But I really like the way it looks. We're going to draft a safety and defense. We're going to have to draft a safety. If we don't end up pulling something off in, like, the next... I mean, we got all of free agency and, like, through the draft and all that crap. I mean, we got time to do it. But I was just really expecting the Raiders to jump on a free like a true free safety by this point already before they started bringing in their depth pieces. I understand if you want to go out there and draft a right tackle, but you still need more depth at that tackle position besides Brandon Parker and Sam Young. Like, that scares the hell out of me. It scared the hell out of me last year, and we all saw how that played out. If you want to draft a right tackle, you need another veteran tackle to come on and compete to see if he can end up locking down that spot. Oh, Raider J, what's good, man? Glad to see you. Always appreciate your knowledge and opinion. You always give us the best looks, and I appreciate it, Raider J. Thank you, man. Gruden needs to understand that there is more to the defense than defensive tackles and defensive ends. That's what I'm saying, dude. Fix it. Like, fix that. Ugh, it drives me insane. We can call that lineup snapped ankle. Dude, I'm telling you, if you get these guys crossing routes and Carr, I understand you're going to end up having like a true blitz coming at you when you get into these 5 wide, like spread, just like true spread formations. But he has such a quick release, and if those guys were all on the same page and you line this up and Carr went into a hurry-up offense, he would shred teams, like completely shred them. They're going to make that up in the draft. Trust in that. I'm loyal. I'm hoping they do, man. Is Brown an upgrade over Aguilar? In my opinion, he's like a major upgrade over Aguilar. And I really think one of the reasons Brown signed with the Raiders is because he saw Aguilar come in here, build that chemistry with Carr, and then end up signing like a fat-ass payday on the back end of it. I think you're going to see a lot of receivers do that. I'd like to see one come in here and actually stick and stay with Carr so they can build that rapport. I don't know if that's going to happen, man. It could just be Carr cycling in these #2 wide receivers, turning them into potential #1s, letting them get their payday moving on. I hope that's not the case, man. I want to see Carr. Carr's never really had, outside of like Crabtree, who he only had for like back-to-back seasons, a receiver that he could stick with and continue to build with. Like all the great quarterbacks always have that one guy that were there like 5 to 6 years and they're playing together and building that chemistry. You go back to like the greatest quarterbacks, they always had that one guy for a couple years that they really just worked with, and man, he needs that. Carr needs that. Bradley has a big voice on the defensive signings. I stay optimistic. John, I'm staying. You know me well enough to know I'm staying optimistic. Michael, how are you doing, man? I'm glad you can make it out. We don't need that much D-line depth. No, we don't, man. And I understand they wanted to bring something different. They wanted to see exactly how it was going to look. And the last that I've read, it seems like Beasley's going to end up retiring, which is perfectly fine with me. I have zero problems with that. But I don't know. If you have other positions, you need to fill that shit before you start bringing in your depth guys, because at that point you're wasting money that you could be spending on these, like the Shermans, the Hookers, like those dudes that you want to bring onto this team that can actually fill the spots that we need. The whole Anthony Harris situation pissed me off. I am more pissed about resigning Dalen Levitt. Now, Costas, I will give you that. And Levitt, he's another dude. Like, he's a good special teams guy, so I wasn't terribly pissed about it just because I do like seeing him on special teams. But much like a Kyle Wilbur, I don't want just special team guys on, like, making the roster because they can play special teams. You need guys that can truly be those depth pieces for you. Dalen had a couple flashes at the end of the year, but at the same time, he was still getting turned around. I'd take Dalen over Nevin Lawson. I'm not going to lie about that. Diego, what's happening? Valerie, how are you doing? We have like 10 defense tackles. Why so many? The last I counted, like if you count Beasley still being on the roster at this point right now, we have 13 defensive linemen on this roster. And it blows my mind because you have pieces that you're still freaking missing. Snead is a depth piece in case Renfro gets hurt, in my opinion. Fierce, I'll give you that. But I really think Renfrow and Ruggs, it's all going to depend on Edwards. Like, can Edwards step up and be that other outside wide receiver that we need? I truly believe that he can. And if he can, then you have a bunch of dudes working your slot. If you don't go into these spread formations, you got people sitting on the bench that are just wasted talent at that point. Snead signing was useless. That's kind of how I feel about Snead. Torres, a new one, can't be that bad. No, he's not. That's the thing, dude. He's not bad. Like, when he was on fire and he was playing with Drew Brees and he had a quarterback that could actually whip that ball and consistently throw it accurately, that's why I'm saying, like, he has potential to really break out for us. I just don't know where he's going to break out. And if he's going to have that opportunity to break out, I'm telling you right now, it's going to take that opportunity away from Ruggs. It's going to take that opportunity away from Renfrow and Ruggs. So, I don't know, man. Edwards can play for Renfrow. Man, I don't want to see Renfrow take a step back at all. Brown is supposed to be just as good, but with more reliable hands. I mean, if he's not going to be top 10 in drops at the end of the year, I'll take that all damn day. Anthony Harris had one down year on a contract year. I'm not tripping. Anthony Harris ended up signing for $5 million, and you know we could have afforded it. I just really don't think Anthony Harris wanted to come to Vegas. Snead is going to wear 17. I did not know that. I appreciate that, Diego. Richard will be gone. I don't think Jalen Richard's going anywhere. I really don't. I understand that we brought Theo Riddick back. I'm just trying to see who's going to get worked out of that shuffle. If it does end up being Richard, I'll kind of be pissed because Carr loves him. Gruden loves him. He's a solid third down back. And I really think Theo Riddick can be one of those guys that ends up being re-signed, ends up going back to the practice squad again, collecting his paycheck, and steps up when we need him in certain situations. Running backs very rarely stay healthy throughout the entire season, especially like your full 4 or 5 that you're carrying. So you have to have that dude on your backup burner to bring in, because I don't want to see a dude like Ingold taking a back seat. That would piss me off completely. Jorge, how are you doing? Any updates on Sherman? No, everything that I've heard about Sherman right now is still just complete speculation. Do you have a wide receiver that you had in mind if you wanted to draft one on draft day? Like a third guy? That's the thing, man. Like, I really thought our wide receiver room was looking pretty damn good without having to draft anybody or bring anyone in. But I figured, knowing Gruden, I figured that we would bring one in. And probably, like, towards that final day of the draft, just bring somebody in late. If nothing else, just bring in, like, a true speedster for your kick returns and your punt returns. Because as much as I love to see Renfrow return punts, it scares the shit out of me every time he gets cracked down and ends up just getting crushed on those punt returns. So I wouldn't be pissed about that. I don't have like a name for you. I just want one of those smaller return style wide receivers. We're probably going to draft a tackle in the first round. Michael, I kind of agree with you. I really think that's the way that it's headed right now. Unless you can get like a solid... That safety position is scaring the hell out of me right now because it's going to come down to Heath and Levitt as your like rotational pieces in that secondary as far as the safeties go. And that I do not want that at all. Like at all. Snead doesn't have a role to fill. It isn't already filled by somebody else. That's it. So if he's coming in here to truly compete, but you don't bring a guy like Snead onto this team, give him the money that you gave him, expect him to compete. I mean, I expect him to compete, but I also fully expect him to make this team, which is going to bounce somebody else off this team. And I get it, dude. Like, we're still carrying Keelan Doss and Aitman and Zay Jones. So, like, he has a spot to where he can come on and end up bumping one of those guys off. And even if we lost any of those, like, 1, 2, or 3 guys I just mentioned, I wouldn't be pissed about that if it ended up being Snead. But if Snead's going to be on this team, I want to see him getting in the rotation. We have a hard enough time getting the ball to our outside wide receivers right now, besides going out and bringing in more outside wide receivers that you know are going to have limited touches throughout this season. Love your show, Joku. Keep doing up to do. Matt Sentence, man, I appreciate you, man. Wild Turkey, how are you doing? It's been a minute since you've been in here. Well, we have plenty of backup wide receivers. Remember when we all got hurt and Carr didn't have anyone but Waller and Renfrow? Yeah, and I also... Man, damn, what was that dude's name? There was a couple seasons where we were completely depleted. Our kick returner was our #1 wide receiver. And, I mean, I get it, dude. You have to have that backup, but I don't know, man. Barrymore in the first, if available. Right tackle in the second, if that happens. If not, right tackle in the first. Yeah, Costas, but then you're still walking into next season with a gaping hole at your free safety position, man. Greetings from the 559. Oh, Rich, how's it going, man? I really hope our new O-line holds up. Carr's job will depend on it. Valerie, I really think that they will. I really like the kind of way this offensive line is shaking out. If we can just solidify that right tackle spot, it would make me a hell of a lot happier because if it ends up being Good playing right tackle and then Simpson playing next to him and Simpson makes that step and then Ingold ends up starting, you got a lot of young, inexperienced guys across that offensive line. You have to get that one more veteran offensive lineman on this team. And there's been a few that we've missed on through free agency, but if they want to address the right tackle through the draft, you're still, I mean, it's going to be tough, man. Oh, Mitchell, what's happening, dude? Why would we need anyone to play for Renfro? He's a mad relax. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, Renfro has his spot locked down on this team. So why don't you take that money that you gave to Snead, take that money you gave to those two defensive linemen that we don't need, pool it all together, and go out there and get your ass a Sherman or a Hooker or one of these like secondary dudes that we desperately need on this team. Green right X, Chef Viper, Sticky Looky. This play on Henry Ruggs, touchdown, first down against the Kansas City Chiefs. He went 60 yards. Raider Godzilla, you are 100% about that. Got caught up in your play call right there. I think Edwards is going to be a beast. Michael Myers, I'm really thinking Edwards ends up stepping up for us. But if he doesn't get that opportunity to step up because of these other dudes that we brought on, and he ends up having to ride another season, just kind of playing in the shadows, it's going to screw him, dude. It's going to jack up his confidence, and he might not end up getting that shot. Crawford, what's happening, dude? I appreciate you, Crawford. Thank you for coming out, man. Kylie King, how are you doing? Glad to catch you live. I'm glad you did too, man. Thank you for coming out. Edwards will only be a beast if he gets to play. Right now, I see him getting a lot of snaps. I'm really hoping you're right. He needs to get a lot of snaps if he's going to take that next big step. Where does Farley fall in the draft? Man, I've been watching a lot of these different draft boards. Loyal. I've seen him going. I don't think he drops too far, to be honest with you. I think he's going to end up being off the board, honestly, sooner than people are expecting him to be. Do you think we trade 17th pick to get more picks? It seems like we've kind of been stockpiling picks off, and granted, like they're back-end picks, just off our offensive line, just being able to make these moves and free up that cap to keep moving forward. But I really think we have a decent amount of depth in this draft. I wouldn't be surprised at this point if we start taking some of these lower-end picks, grouping them together, and trying to move up the draft board. If you can move up and get like a late first, cop it with a couple third-round picks or fourth-round picks, and then maybe get another pick in that second, I wouldn't argue about that. Valerie, nothing as of right now. Andrew, what's good, dude? I'm glad you can make it out. Morgan is coming off the board before 17 now. Yeah, that's why I told you guys, man. When you're watching all this, and like even when I was doing my draft, I was like, you have to remember, like this draft board's going to change so much. We saw it I mean, you see it every damn year. Like somebody will show up at their pro day, and then all of a sudden they get bumped way up that draft board. Somebody will screw up and do something off the field, and all of a sudden their stock just completely plummets, or they'll run a 40 that just isn't up to par with everything that's been talked about, and then their stock plummets again. It's that kind of shit that just keeps it like fluctuating until you actually get to draft day. I can't wait to see Drake and Josh in the backfield at the same time. That's going to be dangerous, man. I swear to God, I sat here all last off season talking about the two running back formations just because I wanted to see it like so damn bad. I wanted to see just like the old school like Marcus Allen, Bo Jackson days. And granted, like that's one thing that I thought Gruden might actually bring back to this team. Maybe I thought like maybe when we had Booker, it would be like Booker and Jacobs, but we never really saw it. It was always Ingold playing that second back, which I'm totally okay with because he's usually a lead blocker, and Ingold can actually make some plays. That's another dude I want us to get more involved in this team. But if you have two like pass-catching running backs, because Jacobs has been putting in the work as far as becoming a receiver. He's had some pretty good plays last season. And then you put Drake. I mean, if you have them on the field, and then you have like your two outside wide receivers, you have Waller, and then you empty your backfield, and then all of a sudden you're in a 5 wide receiver set, and you have Jacobs and Drake. Dude, you're looking pretty. Like Carr could feed off of that. I'm not worried about that. Do you have a good starting at offensive tackle? I'm guessing we draft an offensive tackle and plays. Yeah, that's what I'm praying happens, Anthony. That Good stays at that guard spot. We draft a right tackle because Good's going to have to protect that right tackle, and he's going to have to help a little bit on the inside, depending on who ends up starting at center. I think the left-hand side's still going to be looking damn good as long as Richie can stay healthy. We better not get Barrymore. We go Morrig, offensive tackle, then Richie Grant, then we'll be set. Dude, if Richie Grant's sitting there in the third and we pull that off, I'd be happy as hell, Raider J. I'm not going to lie. Yes, Brown and Carr are going to be deadly. Dude, Michael, I think you're right. And I really think that if Brown just goes off, and if Brown can end up like getting that 1,000-yard mark and put up 8 to 10 touchdowns, I would love to see the Raiders re-sign him, because then Carr would have somebody that he has like a rapport with that they can continue to build off of. I really think Brown can be that guy if he gets the right opportunity. Cameron, how are you doing? Renfro been there for 3 years. That's what I'm saying, dude. That's why I don't see where these other guys are going to fit in, because a lot of people are like, Well, if like Brown ends up starting on one side, you have Edwards starting on the other. Then you have Ruggs and Renfrow fighting over that slot spot. I don't want at that point. Gruden has to adjust his offense, and I have zero faith in Gruden adjusting jack shit as far as his offense goes. Did we re-sign Sam Young? I thought we did. Like, I thought I read that we re-signed Sam Young. If I'm wrong about that, don't hold me to it, but I'm pretty sure that we did, and it pissed me off. Like, completely pissed me off. You scroll down a little bit. Who was that? Chevy Silver, right, man? I appreciate it, dude, but you do not have to do that. I think, thank you, like, from the bottom of my heart, but save your money, man. A lot of shit going on in the world right now. With the 17 games, there will be a lot of broken records this year. Valerie, and we drew the Bears in that 17th game, and I was happy as hell. Like, I'd like to see us go 17 games, but that's more injury potential. That's more chances of just players kind of sputtering out as the year goes, especially like the younger rookies that you're bringing in. I understand that the NFL, I think a major reason you're seeing that extra game is just for the extra revenue because the NFL lost so much money. Michael, how are you doing? Bodies for camp. I love camp bodies, man. You got to bring your camp bodies on. Let them be. Let them do what they're doing. But at the same time, fill the freaking holes that you have on your team before you start signing your camp bodies. At that point, you're just throwing money away. Looks like a tackle and a safety will be in the draft. I don't think they pick anyone else up in the draft. Sherman would be all right, but I think he wants way too much money. Yeah, I think he's right around like that $7 to $8 million a year mark. And that's the thing. Like, we would have had that if you wouldn't have been signing these bullshit dudes, because you can sign these camp bodies for $200 to $300K. Like, bring them on. You're a camp body. Here's $200,000. Come in the camp. And then maybe if or still a bigger name, we're like, all right, dude, we'll give you the vet minimum. You want to come on? You can come on to camp, see if you can end up making the team, but this veteran money's guaranteed for you. And it's that kind of shit that just kind of drives me nuts, dude. Please stop super chatting, y'all. Snead is good in the red zone. He is good in the red zone. Who was it? Jackson Kruger Sports, man. If you want to see what Snead can do, that dude put out a damn good video and just kind of broke down his film. He is excellent as far as breaking his coverage at the line. And then as soon as he gets a step on somebody, he's pretty damn consistent. So that's what I'm saying. He's an asset to the team. But just whose spot is he going to be taken away from, man? I want to see Ruggs and Edwards continue to develop. And it's that kind of shit that's going to drive me nuts if they don't. Where was that? Don't worry, be happy. Going to be a fun year. Mag, man, I'm hoping you're right. Like, I really, really am. Kevin Lurker, what's good, dude? I'm glad you can make it out. Abram Ware's down nice, seeing some extra juice. Oh, man. Who's our best wide receiver? Oh, shit, Anthony, that's a solid question right there. If I had to put it, like, right now, like, our best, like, most consistent, the wide receiver, I mean, you got to give it to Renfrow at this point. We don't know what's going to end up happening between Carr and Brown. Ruggs has not had the true opportunity to go out there and have enough shots. Every time you've seen Ruggs, he's just kind of catching that deep ball. He goes in motion a lot, but doesn't do shit off of it. Every now and again, we'll hand him the ball on a running play, but I need to see more from him. Edwards has all the potential in the world, but is still unproven. I mean, in my opinion right now, dude, Renfro's the best wide receiver on this team. I mean, granted, we have Waller, who's like pretty much the ultimate hybrid. He's the best, like, pass-catching tight end / wide receiver on the team. But if you're just talking like straight wide receiver, in my opinion, dude, you got to throw it at Renfrow, man. We need Richard for punts. Yeah, dude, little Sean, I'd way rather see him doing it than Renfrow. That scares the hell out of me. Oh, Raiders Fears, Fox Show, how are you doing, man? Tutu Atwell, man, that's a solid name. Renfrow is out there one-handed. Hope he isn't phased out of this offense. No, he better not be, dude. Carr loves him way too much. Juan, how are you doing? Zay Jones, that's the one I see getting lost in the shovel. Abram is trying to play strong safety to making up for the lack of free safety. That's why it's important to get a good... Costas, yes. Let Abram just be able to play free and do... Oh, man, dude, that's exactly what I wanted to see Gus Bradley bring to this team. Abram sitting in the middle of the damn field, not having a worry in the world, just being able to attack the ball. But if you don't have that free safety, he's not going to be able to do that shit. He won't. Heath would be great if he played against Drew Lock for 16 games. Say Jones aside, yes, he is. He's our red zone man. Possibly, dude. Let me scroll down and try to catch up with you guys a little bit. D-Mag, thank you, man. I appreciate you, dude. What do you think of Phil? I don't like it, dude. I talked about it earlier, Kevin. I do not like it. All these vets on the offensive side of the ball and all for the youngs to learn off for the... Yeah, you have that depth, dude, but don't let those veteran dudes... Like, that's what I kind of felt like with Witten. Like, Witten came onto this team, and he kind of... Granted, like, we don't know if Foster was fully healthy, but if Foster was fully healthy, man, Witten took a year away from his career coming back onto this team, moving in slow motion. That's not the kind of shit I want to keep going, man. It's like week 8, week 9, all of a sudden Foster comes on the field, catches like a little slant route, ends up juking the shit out of the safety, ends up going into the house, and you don't see him for the rest of the game or the next 2 weeks, period. It's, oh man, that's the kind of stuff that drives me nuts, dude. Raider Art, how are you doing, man? If you guys have not checked out Raider Art's new channel, he just started that thing. It is cool as hell. Definitely go check him out. I'm really hoping that he can grow pretty quick, especially before next season. I'm not sure if I trust the rookie right tackle unless he's like 6th, 7th, and a quick. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. But like that's your first round. Like the right tackle or tackle position that can start in the first round or that can start like the opening season is you got to get him in the top 20. Like you have to. Cool Zay, thank you, dude. Please don't super chat me, dude. I'm happy to make it to the show finally from Denver and enemy territory. Do you think we're finally going to get a true middle linebacker this year, dude? Cool Zay, I'm not going to lie. I really think we have one in Nick Wachowski. I think him playing that middle and then Littleton being able to step up, not playing underneath Gunther's shit-ass system, and then having Morrow back on this team, you're going to see a completely... Our linebackers are going to be the same players, but you're going to see them playing completely different. And I think Littleton's going to just explode. I think Morrow's going to finally become comfortable, and that's going to give Nick a chance to just sit in the middle of the field, call these plays, and just be the beast that he is. I'm telling you right now, dude, that kid is a steal, and I love having him. Witten wasted a slot. He did. And that's what you're seeing these other dudes come onto this team. We have the young talent. At some point, you have to be like, all right, let these kids play. They've proven that they can do it. But if you don't give it to them consistently, they're screwed, man. Like, they're completely screwed. What do you think about trading back to get T. Jenkins and trying to get Grant in the second? If Jenkins is still there, they did have a meeting with him. Yeah, they've been meeting with a lot of names that I'm really thinking we might not have an opportunity to get. But the biggest one for me, dude, it was Micah Parsons. If we met with him and he's there at 17 and we bring him on, that would be a major addition to this team. But even at that point, I would still be pissed because we still wouldn't have a right tackle and we still wouldn't have a freaking free safety. And I'm telling you, if you're missing either one of those positions and you're trying to fill them with mid to late round draft picks, you're going to get shit on, like completely shit on. We've all seen it, dude. Witten was a huge backfire on Gruden, wasted time and money. Yes, it was. Kwiatkowski's a solid linebacker. I agree with y'all, man. Raiders didn't offer K. Long a contract. No, they didn't. And like, I've heard some weird stuff about that. And so much of it's just kind of in media hype. He ended up going to Kansas City. I thought a lot of people have been talking about Reed. He ended up going to Kansas City too. So I don't know, dude. Oh, DRC, how are you doing, man? No more legacy nostalgia players. Thank you. Let these young kids, let them build that new legacy. Let them bring a whole new nostalgia to this freaking team. Sonny, how are you doing, man? Sorry I'm coming in late. No worries, dude. Littleton should step up. I'm expecting Littleton to take a major leap underneath Gus. Witten was a placeholder until Morrow healed up. But that's the thing, man. Once he healed up and we saw him out there making those plays, like he never got the opportunity again. Like Witten stayed on the field. I saw Witten go on a little screen pattern and I was banging my damn head on the table, dude. Nick's a scrapper. Yes, he is, dude. That kid's going to earn his way, and he has been doing it his entire career. I'm expecting big things from Kwiatkowski, man. I think Jalen Mayfield would be a solid option at right tackle. I would agree with you. Oh, Mays, how's it going, dude? What's up, brother Joku? I'm with you on Abrams. He would excel in the box. Waller and Morrow would be deadly combo for years. They would be, man. And then I'm really hoping, because we're going to run a hell of a lot of those two tight end sets. That's a Gruden go-to. If we stay away from the 3 wide receiver or 3 tight end sets, I'd be happy as hell. But you're going to see those 2 tight end sets, and those are 2, man. It reminds me of, like, I hate to say it, but like the old New England teams, to where they had like 2 solid-ass tight ends, and they were tearing teams apart. But you have to be able to have the run game, which we do have, but you have to have those outside threats, and Ruggs is one of them. And I really think Brown could be the other. Edwards stepping up would be huge for us. But then you're getting into these other guys that are kind of getting lost in that shuffle, and that's what pisses me off, man. On paper, this looks like a top 5 offense, bro. I really think it does, man. My mind says I'm 25, but my body says I'm out of my... Yeah, my body's still telling me I'm my exact age. I'm hurting daily. Well, what do you think about Isaiah Johnson? I heard Bradley and the staff are raving about him. Dude, I love Isaiah Johnson. I've been talking that kid up since he came onto this team. His opening season, when he ended up taking that face injury, that set him back. And then being coached by Gunther was another big step back. I really think that he could step up in a major way for us. I've heard a lot of people talking about Isaiah Johnson maybe playing that free safety position for us. I would have to seriously look into that before I'd want to see it. I thought he looked pretty good playing the nickel spot, but being like the true drop single high drop free safety, I'm not that. I am a little suspect on that. Someone give the video a thumbs up. It's a bad number right now. Man, yeah, somebody do that. I gotta admit, watching Witten run in slow motion was pretty entertaining. It was entertaining until I realized that he was just about to get popped. No, I'm 24. Oh, Knock Andrew, how are you doing? Odds Abrams gets hurt. He's going to hurt himself. He's either going to hurt himself or he's going to hurt somebody else on our team. As long as he's diving into damn TV carts and going head-to-head with our own players. But I really think that's the kind of stuff you're going to see him dial back a little bit, so I'm not too worried. Our first-round pick needs to play like a first-round pick to be successful. He has to get the opportunity to do that. A lot of people have been shitting on Ruggs, man. And if I could find that video, it was like week 3 or 4 last year. It might even have been during the preseason. I was like, there's going to come a point throughout this season that people are going to turn their back on Ruggs and they're going to completely start to shit on him. And people are like, no, dude, he ain't going to have it. You're seeing it. Like, you're seeing it play out right now. Have faith in that kid. There's not a doubt in my damn mind that kid is going to turn it around and end up coming out and having a killer season next year. But if Gruden continues to run the offense to where we're not really working the ball to the outside and we're just taking shots, it's not going to happen for him, man. I put a lot of Ruggs decline on Gruden right now. I'm not even going to lie to you. Power zone run scheme. From what I heard, that the whole reason that we shuffled up this offensive line and the reason that we reworked it, besides just money, is they wanted to get more into that zone scheme to have not the power offensive. Our offensive line last season was huge. Granted, they never played together, but they were like giant men. And when it was stacked, they would open up the holes. But if you can get into it, a dude like Jacobs and a dude like Drake would really feed off of it. And Cable is awesome at coaching that true run scheme or that zone run scheme. So if you have the linemen that can actually get up the field and make the plays, I really think that it'll be looking pretty damn good. And that's the reason I wasn't too pissed that we ended up blowing up this offensive line and freeing up all that money. I like Ruggs and he's putting in the work. Yes, he is. I'm really hoping it shows. Abram, Arnett, and Ruggs on the hot seat, in my opinion. Dude, I'm not going to argue with you. Arnett, I'll give you 110%. Abram, I go back and forth on him. His coverage has sucked, completely sucked, but that's not him. Gunther was making him do that when that is not him. Gus Bradley's going to put his ass in the box, and it's going to be looking damn good. So I'm not too worried. Ruggs, get him more. Before you put Ruggs in the hot seat, get his ass the ball and see what he can do with it. Please tell Gruden to stop reaching for his character players in the draft and draft some talent for once. Yeah, dude, I don't care what they did in the offseason, what they did off the field. If it's the best player in the draft, pull the trigger on it. Bring that dude onto the team and see what he can do. What are we going to do with Muse? Muse is going to continue to train at that linebacker position. I like it just because he'll have the speed to be one of a true outside floating linebacker to where he can float with a running back. He could potentially pick up a tight end if he had to. I'm liking it, dude. Hopefully it sticks true. I think Isaiah would be better in a man-on situation. Yeah, I completely agree with that, champion. Juan, how are you doing? I hated not seeing Renfro much last season. I hope he doesn't get buried in the depth chart. Me too. Because he's a hell of a lot better than that. And I don't want to see him brought in every third down to end up sacrificing himself to get us the first, man. The dude can make plays. Get him involved in this offense. Let Carr open this shit up more than he has. And I'll tell you, dude, if you have the 5 wide receivers that we have set up on the board right now, and you kind of branch this thing out, and Gruden's like, all right, man, we're going to open it up. Carr, you go out there and do your thing. We're fully spread this thing out. And Carr did not go out there and just shred this shit. Then I would join you guys on your Carr hate bandwagon. But I'm telling you, right there, bring back Bill Musgrave. When Carr had Bill Musgrave, who was just kind of all right, man, go out there and sling it. He was ripping teams apart, man. Cable is his own blocking scheme guy. Yes, he is. Always enjoy your live streams, but I need to take off. Champion, thanks for coming out, man. I really do appreciate it. Does Mariota get any playtime? And I don't know, dude. I drew up a couple things last off season with him coming in. just bringing in different packages for him, like as far as like goal line and stuff like that goes. Gruden never did it. He never saw play time until Carr got hurt, so I'm pretty much leaning it's going to be the same way with that again. I know a lot of all you too young to remember Cliff Branch didn't really do much his rookie year, and after or halfway through his second year, and then he just exploded, man. Sup Champion Sports from Arizona. I don't know. Let me jump down here a little bit. I recently subbed Chevy Silver. I appreciate that, man. It really helps to keep me growing. Abram and Notre Dame's are not running steams. Mitchie, you lost me there. Give Ruggs and Abram more time. Hopefully they will get to shine. Nathan, that's what, they will get to shine if they get more time and they get the opportunity. But if they don't, I mean, they're going to be shit on, and it's going to end up being the same thing you saw. John Simpson was pretty good in the run game. I feel like Gruden turned Carr into a robot. I remember so many freestyle plays he made in 2016. Darren, I completely agree. And a lot of people are like, it goes back to his injury where he busted up his leg and then he busted up his back and he's not willing to take those chances. I don't believe that. I really think it's Carr kind of putting him, or Gruden putting him in a box and being like, you can do this, this, and this. If you want an audible, you can go to this, this, and this. And Carr's the kind of guy who's just going to memorize that shit. It just becomes second nature at that point. And then there's like, you're running Gruden's offense. You're not making any outside calls because Carr doesn't want to have that confrontation when he gets off the field. But Gruden needs a quarterback that wants to have that confrontation. It's such a fucked up situation, dude. It is what it is, man. With the defense, we have been 12 for 4 years. Yes, dude. What's up? It's been a minute. Good to see you back. Oh, Logs, what's going on, dude? I'm glad you can make it out. I'm sorry you're jumping in right at the end. All right, man. That's pretty much what I have for you guys tonight. Just wanted to come out and do a little bit of a recap. It's actually nice as shit in Georgia right now, so I'm going to be out fishing. I finally got my GoPro set up, so I'm probably going to end up going live sometime tomorrow afternoon, just kind of hitting the lake, bullshitting back and forth with you guys, going to my happy spot. If I can talk Raider football and bass fish at the same time, one, it'll be unique, and two, I'll be happy as hell. So we'll see how it plays out, man. But until next time, guys, I'm Son Joku. If you could please hit that like